Hi, you guys. Welcome to Psychic Renegade Tarot. I'm Bethany. Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so I'm a psychic, and normally I do tarot, pick a cards, and other kind of readings on my channel. Sometimes I talk about astrology. I don't consider myself like... This thing is just poking me. I don't consider myself like a very strong astrologist, so I don't do a lot of astrology, but I'm really into true crime, and I always have been, and I took a lot of psychology in school, and I even took abnormal psychology about criminals. So yeah, the Scorpio in my chart, I geek out a little bit about crime. So today I wanted to do like an astrology bio on a killer. So I want to talk about Chris Watts. Chris Watts. You probably know who Chris Watts is. He's an American, not serial killer, but he killed his family. So, he killed his pregnant wife, Shan'ann, and his unborn son, Niko, and then he killed his two daughters, Bella and Celeste. So I think they were 3 and 4 at the time. Yeah, so I just can't with this guy because it was like so unnecessary. I'm not going to go through the whole story because there's like a whole Netflix documentary on it, and there's so many other good videos talking about the actual events. I'm not really going to get into like all that, not like in a complete way. I want to actually just break down his natal chart and why I believe he's capable of murder or why he murdered them. And this isn't like a definite thing. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not even like an astrologist. But this is just what I know of psychology, taken many, many years. And this is what I know of astrology. And I've studied that a lot too. This is just my take on it. So this is all alleged, okay? This is not... I wouldn't, take it how you... You could listen to my reasonings and my scientific facts that I bring up. And you can decide if you agree or not. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm not saying this is a definite fact. Also, I want to say I'm going to break down like different points in his natal chart and why I think that might have contributed to his ability to kill. I'm not saying, this is a disclaimer, I'm not saying that those specific natal placements mean that you're a serial killer or that you're going to kill your family. No, I'm just saying I think based on knowing that he already killed his family and he's already admitted to it, let me look at his natal chart and think like, what? Let me dissect why I think it happened and basically like what I think is in his character that brought him to be able to do that. And what I started like looking at other like other criminals, kind of just like glancing at like natal charts to try to see. There's like no definitive way. It's all a map, right? So looking at his chart, I can see points that led to why this happened, but it's not like there's never going to be like a cookie cutter natal chart that's a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that I find concerning in natal charts, but they can be balanced out by other points or they can be heightened. You see what I'm saying? And it's also the nature versus nurture argument, which if you take a sociopath and you put them into a loving family, they might just turn out kind of cold and have sociopathic tendencies. They're not going to necessarily kill. If you take a sociopath and you put them in a very abusive, toxic family and they experience a lot of negative stuff, they might turn out to be a killer. So there is nature versus nurture. It all plays into it. This is just for fun, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. This is all just for fun because it is serious. This is someone's life. And 4 lives were taken, his wife and his 3 kids. I'm just saying I don't take it lightly, okay? I'm not trying to make light of this. I just enjoy psychology. So this is like a way for me to kind of get into the psycho analysis of somebody is through their natal chart. So I'm looking at my computer if you're wondering what I'm looking at. I pulled up just like his bio in case I forgot any little points. But yeah, I'm not going to go over it. So he basically what happened is he got an affair. He decided to have an affair, and there's a whole bunch about that I have a lot of opinions about. But anyway, that was sketch. Like, she like Googled him before she even met him. She knew a bunch of stuff she lied about knowing. There's just some very suspicious stuff going on with that whole side of the story. But anyway, he decided to have an affair, and instead of just leaving his wife and his kids, he didn't want to deal with that. He didn't want to deal with the financial burden, I guess. He didn't want to deal with the social burden. He didn't want to deal with any of it. So he decided a better plan was just to kill them. I think he actually tried to kill Niko, the baby, the son. I think he tried to kill the baby before he decided to kill his wife. Because there was like some trip they went on together right before he murdered her, where he like fed her a bunch of oxy and tried to abort the baby. And apparently it almost worked. She was like throwing up all night long, according to her family. So my theory is like that just didn't work. And they got into, he either like totally pre-planned the murder, which is likely, or they got into a fight and he just got mad and strangled her, which I think is possible because he's just like, he seems like such a weakling in all of this that I can more see him like just deciding to kill her out of like anger than like totally premeditating it, because he was just so sloppy about it. Like he like threw her in a shallow grave. He made a lot of mistakes. He like unenrolled his kids the next morning. Like that's suspicious. Like he just did a lot of stupid stuff. So I would be surprised if he pre-planned it. I think he like thought about it before, but I don't think he like planned it that well. But anyway, it's not really important. All right, so let's get into it. So here is his natal chart. You can't even see it, but I think I'm gonna insert a picture. I'll insert a picture of it if I can figure that out. I will. So I'll insert a picture. So he's a Taurus sun. He was born, Christopher Watts was born May 16, 1985. So he's like 35. Is that right? Yeah, he's like 35. He's a Taurus. He's an Aries moon. He's a Taurus Mercury. He's an Aries Venus. He's a Gemini Mars. He's an Aquarius Jupiter. Scorpio Saturn. Saturn Uranus. I'm just going down the list. Capricorn Neptune. Scorpio Pluto. Aries Lilith. And Taurus North Node. And his ascendant is a Scorpio. Some of them said ascendant Leo. I saw different birth cities. So if he was born in Spring Lake or Fayette or something, whichever one's accurate, he might have a different ascendant. But either way, a Scorpio ascendant and a Leo ascendant, well, they both like power and attention, but in very different ways. I think he's a Scorpio because it makes more sense. Like from stuff I saw about it, like he was actually pretty shy. And I think that's also why maybe this happened. Like he couldn't handle the attention he was getting from the newfound confidence he got from being with Shan'ann and having that financial security and being able to like work on his body and like get in shape. He got a little too confident. So anyway, all right, let's just go on the points that stuck out to me. So the first thing I thought was concerning to me was that his moon was conjunct his Lilith. So moon is your feelings, like how you really feel. His moon is in Aries. So he feels like an Aries. He feels like he should get recognition. He feels he can be a little self-centered. He feels like a leader. He has a lot of like get up and go kind of attitude internally. Like he feels like he's not getting maybe the recognition that he wants. So Lilith is your darker side. So conjuncting your moon, it's like he can have some dark emotions. He could hold on to some resentment and anger, maybe things he hasn't let out. I can see how this could play into killing your spouse. Like, it's the kind of thing that if you leave unattended to, or you don't deal with like your shadow side, or you don't like maybe go to therapy if you need to, stuff like that. Yeah, like Lilith conjunct the moon is concerning to me, because it's like that's going to pull out those darker emotions and kind of amplify them. So he might be even more prone to things like resentment and anger. And to me, in a darker sense, I'm going to be taking a lot of these aspects on a negative sense. So please don't get offended if I'm talking about any placements that you have or signs, characteristics. I'm looking at this from a dark psycho perspective, because I'm trying to psychoanalyze a murderer, okay? Like, so I'm kind of taking this on a negative aspect. Like, how did this go dark? What went wrong? Not that all of these placements are necessarily what am I trying to say? Not that any of those placements are going to lead to this kind of thing, but I'm just saying it's interesting to psychoanalyze. So, okay. So a negative trait to Aries could be extreme selfishness. Like, they just have to be right, have to be first. They have to prove themselves. So on a Lilith, on a dark aspect, and an overly emotional dark aspect, it's like he has to force himself. Like, he has to prove himself, be right. He has to get his way. He has to get his way. So to me, it's concerning, because it can take like selfishness to a dark extreme. And if he ends up murdering his wife, I can see how that happens. It's like, you should have just broken up with her, given her the money she was owed, because it was like her house anyway. She already had a house before she met him. He couldn't deal with that, probably. I don't know if he couldn't deal with like the public shame. I don't know how the hell he thought he was going to get away with murder, and that was going to be less shameful. I think he just really thought he was going to get away with it. Or it could have been a crime of rage. Like, he could have kind of thought about killing her. He definitely thought about killing his son. And when that didn't work out, maybe he was just so frustrated that he was tied to her when he wanted to be free. He just wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to be selfish. He couldn't get away. And I think a big part of that was his moon conjuncting Lilith and Aries. So yeah, he just couldn't handle not having that control, and he needed to exert his own will over her. So to a dark extreme. So the other thing that I think kind of led to his wandering underpants and how he fell into the hands of Nikki, the mistress. He has a Mars in Gemini, and I'm not hating on Geminis, but Gemini is just like communicative. It is the sign of the twins. So it's more explorative and social. And so when you put that in your actions and your sex drive, it just means he's more prone to like wanting to cheat, group sex, trying new partners, not wanting to settle down. Like, it's just more of that lighthearted kind of energy. So, yeah, when you pair that with a Venus Aries and a Moon Aries, it's like he feels and loves himself and people that feed his ego, and he likes being kind of impulsive. So all of that kind of just leads to, if somebody's stroking his ego, he might be prone to being impulsive in responding to that. And I mean, that proved to be true. He jumped into bed. I'm pretty sure he killed his family 2 months after he met or started hanging out with Nikki. So it only took him 2 months to decide he needed to off his family to go do his own thing. See what I'm saying about the impulsiveness? Like, if he would have thought it through, he probably would have been like, hey, maybe I'm a narcissist, but it's probably not the best idea to kill my family, because then I'm going to end up in jail and not happy. So maybe I should just suck it up and pay some child support, and I can still leave my wife. But anyway, what else was concerning to me? So Saturn is Scorpio. So like Saturn I look at as like your kind of like life lessons. His life lessons were going to be in death, in stuff that happens in the dark, stuff that's kind of secretive, and stuff that's about power. So that totally screams like a murder, you know. It doesn't need to be a murder, but it makes sense to me. Like, it's a power struggle that happened in kind of the dark and secret. Like a big lesson that you had to go through, he's going through in his life is a huge death, and a huge death in his life is his family. So it could be like the extreme of his character or his selfishness, and maybe not dealing with his issues. Maybe he's having to face like how real that is. Maybe he's a narcissist, he doesn't care, I don't know. But he has a chance to learn that lesson by seeing how out of hand it got by losing his family and him driving himself to that point. So I can see that. His Neptune's in Capricorn, so to me I feel like he like dreams of like stability and stuff like that. So he felt very comfortable with Shan'ann because she had her own home, she had a business, she was very driven. I think she was a Capricorn, pretty sure. Yeah, so I can see that. His Pluto's in Scorpio, so his Pluto and his Saturn are conjunct in Scorpio. So Pluto is kind of like your changes, like darker aspects you have to deal with. Scorpio again is a sign of like power and death. And so honestly, it's like he didn't want to deal with the stuff inside of himself that needed to die and change. And so he took it out on her. He took it out on someone else. Like he took his demons out on her, basically. The other thing that I thought was interesting is his Sun, Mercury, and North Node all conjunct in Taurus. So he's a really like reliable communicator. Like he comes off very like just steady and normal and dependable, and like people said like even the day after he murdered his family he was acting like pretty normal at work. The only thing that was different is like his pant leg was tucked in funny or something. So like he's pretty good at playing it off. He also has the ascendant in Scorpio, so it's like he can kind of put on whatever face he wants you to see. He's very good at like playing parts. And he's prone to power struggles again, because he wants people to see him in a certain light. So that's like a Scorpio ascendant thing. Like you're a little hyper aware of maybe not your image, but like your presence. Like you want to have a certain presence to people, or people react to you a certain way. So I think he knows he has a certain like lovable charm, and he uses it to kind of like get away with stuff, just to come off as innocent. So I kind of wanted to talk about like his house placements a little bit. I don't want to get too into this. I just don't want to dig like too deep into his chart, or I feel like it kind of loses some people. So anyway, his first house is in Scorpio. So it's like he definitely, like I just said, might have some ego. So let's look at the house placements. So in astrology, you have 12 houses representing the wheel of the zodiac, and they all represent a different thing. So his first house is in Scorpio. So this means he kind of struggles with his self-image, his ego. He might have like power struggles, that kind of thing. Like, he's not really going to like being in the public eye. Scorpios are more comfortable in the shadows. So his second house for material possessions is sitting in Sagittarius. So he might not really hold on to money. He might get money and spend it. He might like to spend it all on traveling. This makes sense to me why he would have been attracted to Shan'ann, because she was like financially secure. So he might have been lacking in that department. So he might have been like attracted to the security he found in being with her. You would get back here and eat the freaking tree while I'm filming. My cat is a Taurus. Anyway, she gets on my nerves some days. I swear she just lives to like mess with me some days. Anyway, she gets a demon in her. Just kidding. Yeah, some people say Capricorn's a sign of the devil, and some people say it's Taurus. So there's that too. Both of them have horns. His third house, so communication is in Capricorn. So again, he comes off very stable and secure and like a family man. It sickened me because even like looking at like the Netflix film and stuff like that, like he looks like a good dad. He acted like a good dad. Like he played with his kids. He was attentive with his kids. Like that to me is like low-key terrifying. Like somebody that can play like a good guy that much, like play you that hard that you're pregnant, you have a family with him, you think you could trust him. He's even a good dad, and he literally is just gonna kill you and shove you in a shallow grave. Like, that's terrifying to me. Like, that's the most scary kind of killer. Anyway, okay, his fourth house is in Aquarius, so he's not really attracted to traditional home life. So I can see maybe he struggled with feeling secure or content as a family man. Maybe he wanted a family, but I can see like him feeling kind of out of place maybe, or like he didn't really quite fit the role, or he always had like an urge to kind of get up and go. So that could have also led to him cheating, like his I'm not saying like that placement is a cheating placement. I'm saying like that paired with his Gemini Mars, paired with his Aries moon, you know, it all pairs together that kind of led to that. So his fifth house for romance is Pisces. So this doesn't surprise me either. He seemed to be pretty up in the clouds with Nicole, his mistress. He seemed to think that his life was going to be so great once he killed his family, and yeah, I don't know what he was smoking. I think they were doing drugs. I think they were. But anyway, he was smoking something. So yeah, he's prone to like escapism and being a little kind of more up in his head in romance, and maybe like fantasizing about his partner instead of the realities of his partner. So he might like struggle with kind of that. So yeah. So Shan'ann and Nikki might not have been exactly what he was expecting, like either one of them. So his sixth house for routines, health, day job, that kind of stuff is in Aries. So he's prone to being selfish again and self-focused. And like, I didn't know that he was like heavier when she met him. So like he like got in shape when he was married to Shan'ann. He was quite a bit heavier when he met her, which is fine. It just like shifted his confidence, I think, and it just fueled his ego, and he felt like he was too good for her, didn't want to be with her anymore. She was holding him back. That kind of thing. His house of partnerships, his seventh house, falls in Taurus. Is that right? Yeah, Taurus. So I should have looked up Nikki's sign. I know that Shanann's is a Capricorn, but I don't know what Nikki was. But yeah, he's just attracted to people that can financially benefit him, people that like live lavishly or in excess, people that are attractive. I feel like he thought both Nikki and Shan'ann were out of his league when he met them. So it's not like, I think according to his standards in his head, Shan'ann was better looking than him when he met her, and I think he thought Nikki was better looking than him when he met her. I think according to his own standard. That's just based on me observing, I don't know, how he acted in those relationships. So anyway, he thought they were going to benefit him and they were both attractive. His 8th house, death and transformation, is in Gemini. So he was going to go through a very public transformation. So I think that just speaks to him getting caught for murder and like everybody knowing this story and it being very public. This change he's going to go through in his life and hopefully learning this lesson. His 9th house of philosophy and travel is in Cancer. So he's going to learn a lot through his family, probably through losing his family. Honestly, I think some of this probably plays into his family, like his parents, or maybe some like toxic family patterning there. Like some of the interviews with his parents, like they were very like dismissive of it and almost like sympathetic to him. Like, I don't care how sympathetic you are to your son, like he can leave a woman, he doesn't need to kill her. You know what I mean? Like there's just no justification. So there might be some enabling there or some like narcissistic family stuff. I don't really like psychoanalyze them, but with like philosophy landing in the sign of Cancer, yeah, I can see him learning things about his family through his family. His public image, his 10th house is in Leo. So this to me makes complete sense. Leo is completely public. So his story became very, very public and his name is very well known now. Not for good reasons, obviously, but that to me kind of makes sense where he's like famous. And then his 11th house for humanity is Virgo. So it's like he comes across, again, very nurturing. Like he's the scariest kind of killer because he has that innocent face. Like you wouldn't suspect him. It's like the kind of guy you would like let like babysit your kids if he was a neighbor or your, you know, like he comes across so innocent, like a Virgo. So that's scary. Oh my God, it's scary. It's like a Jeffrey Dahmer. Anyway, his 12th house for psychic ability is in Libra. And don't come at me for this. And feel free to have your other opinions. But I don't see Libra as a very psychic sign. You know, Libra is an inanimate object. Like, I don't see... Libras are intellectual, but I don't see them as, like, psychic. So... for 12th house being in Libra, there's a lot of hidden things about his family and home life, maybe flirting, and his like self-image kind of thing. But yeah, I think he's kind of like not very aware intuitively. It's like he didn't pick up on this weirdness with Nikki and that she obviously knew him before they met and something was weird there. He didn't pick up on the fact that killing his family wasn't going to work out well for him. Like, so that's my opinion on that. So yeah. I think that's basically all I had, you guys. Like the main points that we're considering to mean was the moon conjuncting Lilith. Pluto conjuncting Saturn was like, there's going to be some hard lessons in the dark with Scorpio. And then kind of just like explaining his character, like his North Node conjuncting his Sun, conjuncting his Mercury. He can talk his way out of anything and he comes across very convincing and innocent even. And just his tendencies for wanting to wander, his Jupiter in Aquarius, his Mars in Gemini, like he just maybe wasn't quite comfortable in the family dynamic. Like I think it gave him ego boost and confidence to get Shan'ann and to have that. This is what I get when I try to film. Anyway, I might edit that out. It gives him confidence to land her, but then I think he just didn't feel comfortable in that dynamic. Like he met Nikki and he was too enticed by this like opportunity to just run and do his own thing and to be selfish and to be free. And with all the Aries placements, that was just too enticing to him. And then, yeah, he was going to do what he wanted at the end of the day. His North Node conjunct his Sun. Like, it was going to be about him at the end of the day. He was going to put himself first. So, that's my take on Chris Watts. It's not like the bio of a killer. It's not like it's always the same. Like, it's not like cookie cutter natal charts. Okay. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just kind of going over his ASTRO character placements and why I think this happened and what led to it. And I could have pulled Shan'ann's chart too and kind of put them side by side and maybe got into why they didn't work well together, but there could be so many other factors to that. I don't want to get into that, and I also don't want to really disrespect her by trying to put any blame on her for them being incompatible, because at the end of the day, he didn't need to kill her. Like, at the end of the day, if you really hate her, it's still your responsibility. You still made those children. Like, it's just so incredibly selfish to be willing to kill your own kids and your own wife just to run off with somebody else, like, that you think is more fun or more attractive or more compatible with you. Like, literally steal her money, get a passport, and go the F to Mexico. Like, you could still disappear. Everyone would think you're a piece of shit either way. But, like, why don't you just abandon your family and be a piece of crap instead of killing them and being a piece of crap? It's just... And now you're in prison. You could have just, like, went to Europe or something. So... He's an idiot. He's a dumb criminal. That's why I think it might not have been, like, pre-planned. I think he thought about killing her. I think he definitely tried to kill Niko, his son. Excuse me, with Oxy, but I don't know. I think it was, like, thinking about killing Shan'ann maybe, but I feel like he just, like, did it impulsively maybe and didn't totally plan it out. Well, I think he did call people off that work site. So he might have planned it, but he's just an idiot if that's the case, because he just made a lot of mistakes, I don't know, that made him look very guilty, because he's guilty. So, yeah, that's my take on it. You know, this is just for fun. Like, astrology isn't a complete science. The stars move. There's, like, a lot of opinions about that. This is based on tropical astrology too, I should say, which I think is more accurate when you're talking about, like, psychology. Somebody said that, an astrologer, they were saying that Vedic is more, like, accurate when we're talking about, like, time and, I can't say this word, chronology. Can't say the word. But tropical astrology is more accurate when we're talking, like, just... psychology and human interaction and that kind of stuff, which I do find to be true because I've studied both pretty much my whole life, and I feel like they're pretty accurate when you're looking at, like, the whole chart. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to do a different killer next. I think I might do, like, a series about criminals. I also might do some politicians who are also criminals, in my opinion. Yeah, they're all in the same boat. But all of these are just, you know, allegedly and for fun, same as, like, tarot. Like, you know, I'm not saying, like, yeah, anyone with these exact placements is a killer. I'm just saying we're looking at a killer, trying to figure out what in their natal chart might have led them to be that way. And there, obviously, there's so much other things at play, like mental health and nature and who knows, demonic forces, whatever you think drives people to kill. So I think it also depends on the type of killer. Like, are they a serial killer? Did they totally plan it out? Was it, like, a crime of rage? Did they just, like, lose their crap? Or did they, like, stalk their prey and totally plan, you know, like, there's levels of evil. Oh, there's also the question, like, so do you think everyone's capable of murder? I'm asking myself. I don't know. A part of me thinks that yes, like most people are capable of it when pushed to the right circumstances, but maybe no, because there's some people, they are very, very, very weak, and I just could never see them doing that. Or they'd be like the kind of people that would like pay someone else to do it, which is cowardly, but at the end of the day, anyway, all I'm saying is, even if they're a coward and they pay someone else to do it, or if they do it themselves, it's like, at the end of the day, you still end up dead. So are they capable of really just being that selfish, I guess is what it is. Some people, I do think it's like mental disorders, but whatever. Anyway, we're not going to get into all that, but let me know if you have somebody that you want me to do next, like a suggestion for a crime story, a famous person you'd like me to pull their natal chart. I just think it would be fun to do some natal chart readings and kind of like psychoanalysis. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want more. I don't know why you're watching if you're not subscribed. But yeah, I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys for interacting with my channel. Also, this counts if you're interested in my tarot readings. Any comments enter you into my giveaways every month. So there's that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.